What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the CEO Lab podcast. I'm Mr. Making It Happen Instead of Watching It Happen, Reginald Dockery, aka Fahrenheit. Welcome to the show. The CEO podcast is about CEO Lab podcast is about cultivating and motivating the entrepreneurial culture. So what we do is we like to talk about things that deal with business, deal with money, deal with pursuing and expanding the culture and motivating the culture. So we've had a lot of guests on here from mobile bartenders to painters, and we're going to have some attorneys on here talking about some things that really needs to be discussed within our community as far as having a living trust, having a will, having life insurance, and estate planning. Like, that's something that we don't generally think about in our community. Estate planning is something that's crucial to what we do. A lot of times you have people in our community, again, that we tend to leave behind the things that are important when we pass along. Like, we know that one day we're all going to die. That's a fact. Like, death is a part of life. So we're all going to die one day. But what happens after we die with our family, with our loved ones? Are they going to be doing GoFundMes to try to bury us? Are they going to be fighting over the furniture that we just bought and the car that we have? What's going to happen after that? So in a couple of weeks, or next week, or I think it's next week, we're going to have my man, attorney Terrence Quinn. That's my guy. He's going to be on the show. He's going to talk about estate planning, all that good stuff. And then I did a small little extra bonus clip last week on Millionaire Mindset. So we're going to continue that. And I'm going to kind of go through a couple of things with the Millionaire Mindset Part 2, attracting everything that you want in life. I'm a firm believer of manifestation. So I feel like we manifest those things that we're in our minds and our hearts, the things that we put out in the atmosphere. We put stuff out in the atmosphere, and then it come to pass, and we're like, well, how did that happen? I don't know why this happened to me. I don't know why this happened to my people or my job or my finances. To give you an example, for me, one of the things that happened with me multiple times, and I'm the one to blame because I believe in manifestation. I used to complain about my job. Oh, I hate this job. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to work today. And used to post the memes like, I'm going to go to work, but fuck it. And like all this stuff. And then those jobs no longer existed. One closed down permanently because of COVID. Another one laid off. And I went back and thought about it. I'm like, I manifested this because those were the things that I'm like, okay, I'm attracting these things that I want in life by putting it out in the atmosphere. So now I'm a firm advocate. I do a little things a little differently, where I now have my positive affirmations that I say every morning. I do sleep affirmations. It's this, I forget the name of it. It's actually on Scribe, which is like a kind of Audible type app where when I'm sleeping, it actually speaks positive affirmations while I'm sleeping, helps me get into a deep sleep. That helps. I do that every night. But we want to talk about a little bit about the millionaire mindset, waking up the greatness which is inside of you. I believe that everybody have greatness inside of you. You just have to tap into it. So whatever that is, maybe it's radio, maybe it's creative arts, maybe it's my shout out to my barber, Matt the barber. I just posted. He get me lined up every week for the show. But, everybody have their skill set and their passion, but there's something that they're really good at. So we have to wake up that greatness inside of us, right? Somebody said that the only way to have more money is to either win the lotto or lottery or work harder. Do you really, really believe that? Because statistics show that majority of people who win the lottery with major money, they lose it within a couple years. Some lose it within that year because they don't understand the financial side of things of, okay, well, I got $1 million, but I got taxes I got to pay. Instead of actually financing a house, they go out, oh, this house, $200,000, I'm going to give you $200,000. I'm going to pay it off. Like, okay, yeah, that's not very smart in the grand scheme of things, which we'll talk about a little later. But you can have as much money as you want without necessarily working harder. That's my belief. I think if you work smarter, then your money works for you. I always say when I have different money and I invest it and I have it in different areas of business, I say, okay, my dollar got to go out there and work for me. This dollar is no good to me if it's not working. Cash by itself is trash. It's like, if it's not working, the system and making you money, then it's just a piece of paper. And it's not even really a piece of paper if we want to go there. We ain't going to go there, though, today. There's a direct correlation between how hard you work and how much money you make. So a lot of times people say, well, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do this overtime. I'm going to put in extra time. I'm going to put in this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And yet they don't really see any difference in their finances. So the thing I like to preach and teach is you work smarter, not harder. We've heard that phrase forever, but it makes more sense. I have 2 particular business ventures right now that I'm doing where I literally make money in my sleep. I don't have to do anything while I'm sleeping. It's making money for me. Again, I send my money out there. I put my dollar out there. I'm like, hey, go make money and bring it back to me. It has to work for me. We need that more in our community. Again, that millionaire mindset. Right now, it's I forget his name, but he put out there, he said $1 million really ain't nothing. When you really start thinking about it, people are like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Cool. But when you say I'm going to become a millionaire and Uncle Sam, he's going to take his part. So you are already down. Like, you're not a millionaire no more. If I gave you $1 million off rip, you're not a millionaire no more just on taxes. And again, because a lot of times in our community, we have never really had anything to have and celebrate. What we do, we go out and buy things. We purchase things. We become consumers immediately. Let me go grab some new gear. Let me go grab some new Jordans. Let me grab a chain, and then I got to get a nice little whip. And we start spending money like consuming versus, okay, how can I make this money make me more money? So it's a direct correlation between working hard and our money mindset. Your money mindset can either catapult you to wealth or it can keep you in poverty. I'm going to say that one more time. Your money mindset can catapult you into wealth or it can keep you in poverty. A lot of times that what we'll do is it starts with your mindset. What do you think about? If I gave you a $5 bill, what's the first thing that you think about? It's the mindset. Okay, if you say, oh yeah, now I can go buy me a Slurpee. Or you can say, well, this $5, how can I invest this? Oh, it's only $5? Yeah, it's only $5, but you can invest it. I just started investing in an app. I don't really want to promote it yet because I don't know exactly how it's working. But basically what it is you can invest very, very small amounts into real estate. So there's properties down in Georgia. I invested $20, $30 into that real estate. What happens is I get a return on that money. So again, I get $5. I give you $5. Are you going to invest it or are you going to spend it? Are you going to be a consumer or are you going to be an investor? It all starts with the mindset. So it can catapult you to wealth or it can keep you in poverty. One of the things I want to challenge everybody who see this and who's listening is to go out and do Google net worth calculator, and then actually give yourself a true analyzation of where you are as far as your net worth. Because a lot of times our net worth determines our net worth. So the people that we're around and the things that we're doing, and a lot of times there's so many people that don't even know. They're around people that don't know what they do. They may produce podcasts. They may design cars. They have different abilities and skill sets, but you don't even know what they do because of your network. You're not even tapping into that, and that helps determine your net worth. But Google the net worth calculator, put in the true numbers. It's a very simple form. There's a couple out there, but put in the true numbers. Like, what is your net worth? What are you worth right now? I always joke with my children, my 3 babies. I love them to death. Those are my heartbeats. But I always joke and I say, if Dad check out of here, y'all gonna be worth some money. Y'all gonna be worth some major money. And that's between the businesses, the life insurance, all of the things I have in place for them. But I think about generational wealth because that wasn't given to me. Part of my story, to kind of go back a little bit, part of my background story is my dad was an entrepreneur from the time that, he was a teen up until the time he passed away. He was the greatest I say the greatest furniture upholsterer in the city, in the state. I would say the region. Like, he was great at what he did. He actually did stuff for the Detroit Pistons, the Lions, the Red Wings. It was crazy because I would see him, like, literally, we'll have a Detroit Piston that'll go to Gordon's Furniture, buy all his brand new furniture, and then send it to my dad, like, okay, we want to get it redone. And I'm like, wait, that don't make no sense. You just spent $5,000 on furniture. You're going to have him redo it. But he was so good at what he did that, you know, he pulled that in. So as an entrepreneur, that's what I seen. Growing up, I seen him as an entrepreneur. Like, we never went without, always had a roof over our head, had great Christmases, birthdays, all that good stuff, right? So the entrepreneurial spirit rubbed off on me. The thing was, my dad seen something that I didn't see. He said, I see greatness in you. I don't want to teach you to trade. I'm like, why not? Like, my big brother, he know the trade. Like, you taught him to trade. Teach me to trade. I want to know the trade. Well, he didn't want me to know the trade because he's seen something bigger than I seen. And in that, you know, that entrepreneurial mindset, that millionaire mindset was instilled in me at that young age, where I'm watching him do this and make good money. And I'm like, I want to do the trade. Show me the trade. He wouldn't show me the trade. He's like, nah, you're going to do bigger and better things. All right, cool, Dad. I'll take that. So as I, you know, grew up, that was one of the things I seen, but it was also a pain point for me because I couldn't understand at a younger age, like, why won't he show me the business? I don't understand why he won't show me the business. He told me I'm gonna do greater things. What's the greater things? I don't want to do that. I want to do the business. He's making money. He's great at what he do. I want to learn this trade. But as time went on, I started to tap into my purpose, my abilities, my business aspects of being an entrepreneur, helping people with their marketing, helping them start their businesses, getting their LLCs, correct formation. That's a whole nother show, but making sure you have your correct formation for your business. There's a lot of people out here going solo dolo. And when the recession happened, people were stuck because it's like, okay, I want to tap into this EIDL money. I want to tap into this PP. I don't want to tap into this, but you had no business structure. And I'm going to say this on the show. I don't like to predict, but another recession is coming, or another form of a recession is coming, and it's coming soon. So if you don't want to believe it, like, it may not be as bad as the first time when everything got shut down, but you better believe it's about to be crazy. We look at gas prices every day. It's just creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. We're looking at how there's some businesses that in the city, a few that I've seen on social media that they were like, okay, we're shutting down after 50 years. I'm like, whoa. And there's some people that, like, I started a business, but yeah, I couldn't sustain it, so I'm shutting it down. So when that started to happen, those are signs of recession, and it's coming really soon. It's coming again. And when it comes, are you going to be ready? Are you going to have your business in place? Are you going to have your millionaire mindset in place? Are you going to be thinking differently? How can I tap into this crisis, if you will, but also make money from it? Because there's always money being made in a crisis. Don't believe the hype. People say, oh, well, no, when it's down and the economy's down. No. During the pandemic, people made millions upon millions of dollars based on just the crisis. We look at people like DoorDash, Grubhub. They skyrocketed in their business. Why? Because everything was shut down. So if I want food, I either got to go through a drive-through or I have to get it delivered. Uber, Lyft, all of them, they maximized during that time because people like, oh, I don't really have money. I can't drive. Zoom and tech went crazy, like bananas. Like, okay, the money that just went through the roof. Even DocuSign, one of the places I have stock in DocuSign. But DocuSign went through the roof. Why? Because everything was virtual. So now if I'm doing any type of business, I need you to sign this document virtually. I'm not faxing it to you. I'm not emailing it to you. I'm not coming by your office. I need that done virtually. Well, all of these people, again, very quietly made money. They made crazy money because that's where we were in the market. So, and again, with this another recession coming, just make sure that you're ready. Make sure your business is ready. And then, let's change the narrative, if you will, and all of this going on. All right. Get a little water there. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions and see, does this describe you? You're not reaching your full potential. You're not financially free. You're not truly happy, or you're asleep at the wheel. Now, if any of those describe you, we got to change that mindset. One of the things that I say all the time is being financially free. People think, oh, be financially free, you got to have millions and you got to be super rich. No, you don't. Being financially free really means doing whatever you want to do when you want to do it. Saying, okay, well, yeah, this weekend, it's the holiday weekend, but cool. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not doing nothing. But next week, I want to go down to Florida. I want to go to Atlanta. I'm going to take my kids to Disney World. It was crazy because for me, like, that's where I felt like I was in a place of being financially free. Last year when I took my kids to Disney, it was during this time where they were about to go back to school, but my kids were virtual. So I'm like, well, they got their laptops, they got their computers, they can work from down there. But we got our Airbnb and we did it. We didn't have to wait in long lines and none of that stuff. But that was part of being financially free, is being able to say, I want to do this. I'm going to do it. Who's going to stop me? So I want you to, kind of think about that. You know that you should be achieving great things. You just can't quite seem to get there. So it's that part of you, it's that small voice that tell you every day that, like, man, you should be doing this, or you should be doing something greater, or you should be doing something bigger. It's just like, why can't I get there? But again, it goes back to the mindset. How are you thinking about it? How are you starting your day out? What are you putting out in the atmosphere? I dare you and I challenge you to put out positivity in the atmosphere every day. So when that time comes and that negative voice is in you, like, nah, you'll never get it. Like, say, nah, I'm gonna go and achieve this. And my thing is, I used to battle with some church folk about this. I'm like, what harm would it do to speak good, right? So like, if you say every day, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna be a multimillionaire, I'm gonna be a billionaire, I'm gonna be a CEO, I'm going to own this company, I'm gonna own real estate all over the country. You saying that, worst come to worst, 50 years pass and you do none of those things. Is it bad that you said that? I like to always mess around with my man's Kanye West, or Ye, or Yeezus, or whatever he's called these days. But when we go back and look at his videos and the stuff he declared about himself and being a billionaire and talking about what he was going to take over the fashion industry, at the time he was saying it, people like, this guy is crazy. He done lost his mind. Ye done lost his mind. Like, you hear what he just said? He talking about he better than this person. He talking about he going to be a billionaire. He talking about... And then, like, now that we see it manifested, it's like, oh, going back, he been saying it the whole time. Jay-Z, one of my favorite artists of all time, same thing. Like, when we go back and listen to some of the old songs, he talk about it like, he said, I'm raping Def Jam till I'm the 100 million man. Like, he literally was doing that. Like, okay, once I hit that 100 million, then it's time to leave Def Jam and do some bigger things. And then he talked about, Tidal and all of these things that he was going to take over and be billionaire. And it happened. So when it happened, it's like, well, he'd been speaking that and proclaiming it and putting it out there all this time. And that's what we need to do with our lives every day. The only prerequisite for a Millionaire Mindset workshop, if you will, is to have an open mind. A lot of times we have these myths that we believed about money, things that we were told growing up, which as a result, we have a difficult relationship with money because these are things that people told us. They tell us things that's like, oh, man, one of my favorite from, again, church people, love money is for love money, root of all evil, and blah, 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 and money is evil, and money, like, no, money is not evil. Money is neutral. It's a matter of what you do with it. So if I take some money, if I take $100,000 and I go and invest it and create jobs and create a legacy for my children, that's a good thing, right? But if I take $100,000 and I have somebody knocked off, or I go invest in the drug trade and then I'm doing illegal shit, like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's evil. Now it's bad. It's being used for bad. So it's a matter of how we use it. The difficulty is we see is we want more money, but we can't ever seem to get enough. We know that money can achieve good things, but we feel conflicted when we spend it. We are grateful when we have money to purchase things we want, but we also feel like we're being selfish. So it's kind of a back and forth. Why do we have this crazy relationship with money and the mindset of how we think about money? We've never questioned our beliefs to see if they're actually true. Like, that's one of the things, again, that net worth calculator I want you all to do is, we never really question ourselves of, okay, well, this is my mindset. This is how I think about money. Do I really believe that? Or is it something that I've just been told growing up or I've heard growing up? And the atmosphere, I'm really big on atmosphere. Your surroundings is huge. The people you surround yourselves with, you surround yourself around 10 people that ain't trying to work, that ain't trying to get a job, they ain't trying to start a business, they ain't trying to do nothing. They just want to be on the block all day, every day, drink, smoke. That's what we're going to do today. And then tomorrow we're going to do the same thing again. I'm not trying to do anything extra with my life. If you go hang around with them, you're going to be the 10th person. So 9 of them is doing that every day. You go, I'm going to hang with them. You're going to be the 10th one. Is we drink, we smoke, we hang on the block. I ain't trying to work. I live in my mom's crib. I live with my girl. And it's a situation, a good friend of mine had this situation where, he's living with his girlfriend. He's using his girlfriend's car. He's like, everything is dependent upon her. And when they have like their toxic times of like, okay, we arguing, we back. Now she's like, okay, get out. You can't use my car. You can't da-da-da-da. And it reminds me of that new Kendrick song. Like, okay, they're going at it. And it's so toxic that like, okay, well, what's going to happen if y'all separate, if y'all go y'all separate ways, if one or the other and one has the upper hand, guess what? You shit out of luck. You're going to be like, oh, I don't have no car. I ain't got no way. I don't know where I'm going to put my clothes. I don't know, because I've been dependent upon this person and you're not bringing anything to the table. That was a little side piece. If you want more success, money, more happiness, you must master your mindset about money. I'll say that one more time. If you want more success, money, happiness, you got to master your mindset about money. There's, this old phrase that, well, money don't buy you happiness. I'm kind of on the fence about that, because I'm like, it doesn't necessarily buy you happiness, but it helps provide happiness. When I'm able to do things for my children and they're like, oh, I'm excited, Dad, we're going to do this, we're going swimming, we're going that, and we're spending money to do it, that's providing happiness for them and for me. Some of the things I like a good hookah, I like a good cigar. Like, when I have one, I'm like, oh, okay, this is nice. But guess what? It costs money to do that. So the money myth number 1, that money is evil. We kind of touched bases on that. Money is not evil. Is this true? Is money actually evil? No, it's not. Money itself, again, is neutral. It's not bad. It's not good. It's a matter of what you do with that money. When you put a $20 bill in your pocket, does it make you a bad person? No. Does it make you a good person? No, not necessarily. It's a matter of what you do with that. Oh man, lost my spot here. You can do great things. You can do great good with money. You can give it to people in need, which sometimes like that's in the phase of, or in the area of not necessarily, okay, let me go find a charity or let me go find a homeless person to give it to. But sometimes it's those right around you. I had a story I like to tell about, I had a young lady that she's very, very humble, and she's like, okay, I'm not going to tell anybody I'm in need. She had to move from her house. Okay, she moved from her house. But the thing was, she needed like $70 to get the rental truck and the moving truck and all that good stuff. I didn't know. I just felt led to do it. I'm like, okay, hey, I feel led. I'm giving you $100. She breaks down crying, like she's bawling. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Well, I didn't know the situation, but I gave it to her. She was in need. She had a need. She put it out there that, manifesting that she had this need, I was used as a vessel. So again, sometimes giving it to people as far as money, like it's not necessarily, okay, let me physically find somebody. It can happen that way, but you can buy something for yourself that you really want or need. My vitamin supplement, I got a a strict vitamin regimen that I'm on. When I go to buy my vitamins to replenish and be able to, put them in my little vitamin thing for every day, that makes me feel good. But that's doing something good with money, right? You can start a charity. Last year, I did register my 501c3, Dreams, Visions, and Purpose. This is going to be an amazing charity for young people, showing them entrepreneurship and also tapping into the skills and the artistic side of what they want to do. We have a lot of schools and systems that they're getting rid of like the arts as a whole. Like they're not teaching music, or they're only teaching limited music. They're not, tapping into people. I remember back in elementary school, dating myself a little bit, but back then when we had like a school dance or whatever, the 5th grade art class, we were the ones that did all of the art for the whole gymnasium. We didn't go order nothing. We didn't buy nothing. We didn't have it printed out at Kinko's. We actually created it. But those systems are no longer. Like I was looking at my kid's schedule for next year. I'm like, man, like what happened to y'all? Electives are a little different. So, but yeah, that charity is going to be great. Hopefully I'll be able to talk about it a little bit more on the podcast in the future. And then also you can help your friend. You can help yourself or your friend start a business. Like that's something good that you can do with money. The thing that I've been teaching forever about starting your LLC, starting your incorporation. Here in Michigan, it's like $50. Like literally, the paperwork is like $50 to register your EIN, which is your federal tax ID number for your business, which is equivalent to like the social security number for a business. It's free. Like, so when people are charging you to do that, like that's free to do. Like you can go right on the website and do it. Now, in all of the workshops I've done, I teach this, I show them how, go on the whiteboard. I'm like, this is what you do first, second, third, fourth. And then people say, well, how much you charge me to do it? I'm like, no, you need to do it yourself. Like you have some investment, but that's how I end up getting into helping people do it. So again, it's not the actions, it's the actions that you take, not the money itself, that can cause evil. Myth number 2, people who want money are greedy. That is definitely a myth. Sometimes I think we have to just dig in deep of how do we think about money as a whole, because we don't go to work for free, right? We don't go to work like, oh yeah, I'm going just because I want to go to work. Like, no, we're expecting a check at the end of that week or end of that day or end of the 2 weeks. We're not going to work like, okay, I'm going to work here for free for, I'm giving 40 hours of my week. And, I'm just going to come. And if they pay me, cool. If they don't, cool. Like, no, I want my money. Like, I'm here to make money. So people who want money are not greedy. It's part of who we are. Now, you can be greedy or you can be generous. You can choose. Like, what are you going to do with your money? Again, I'm a firm believer of what you put out there. I'm a firm believer of manifestation. And I also believe in sowing and reaping. I think when you sow seed into some good ground, into people who need it, or, helping people, helping businesses, supporting local businesses, supporting local podcasts, supporting other people with your money, I believe that comes back to you. I'm a firm believer in karma, sowing and reaping, however you want to define it. That's where I am. So you can choose to be greedy with your money, or you can choose to be generous. However, you can't be generous if you don't have any money. Going back to that mindset. Like, I can't give you something I don't have, right? Well, that goes to the mindset of how you're going to make money and how you're going to put it out there that, okay, let me maximize my gifts. Let me turn my passion into profit. Like, the thing I'm passionate about, the thing I can do every day if I didn't get paid for, how can I turn that into making money? If you want to be a financially generous person, you have to have some finances in the first place. So you can be generous or you can be greedy, but you have to have finances in order to be generous. All right. We're wrapping up, not wrapping up, but we come down the home stretch. Myth number 3, there's not enough money. So that is definitely a myth. In the world right now, I don't have my statistics right here with me, But it's something crazy. Like you get into the trillions, like that's something that we don't talk about. We talk about it on the government side of like we got $1 trillion debt. But when you think about the type of money, physical paper money that's out there, it's in the trillions. Now we get into other types of money. You got of course, cryptocurrency. You got real estate, which is valued as money. You have gold, you have silver, you have oil, you have these different forms of currency. So it's definitely not a shortage of money in the world. Now, the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset, there's a big difference. And the difference is scarcity mindset believes that there's never enough. Like, again, we look at situations going on in the world right now. They're saying a short baby formula, and it's like, okay, well, everybody have their perceptions and views on it. My perception and view, again, growing up, like our baby formula is made a different way. How I was raised and how I raised my children, they were breastfed. So it's like, well, you kind of go like, it's never really a shortage because it's always there. I believe there's always a natural resource. So again, scarcity mindset is, there's never enough. Oh my God, what are we going to do? There's never enough. They just had a little small article about a week ago saying that in DC, in the nation's capital, that they ran out of gas. They're like, okay, they're out of gas, no gas in DC at all. Like, come on, like really? So the scarcity mindset is, oh my God, it's not enough. They ran out of gas. Now gas going to be $15 a gallon. How are we going to get to work? It puts you into panic mode. But there's definitely enough gas. There's definitely enough natural resources. So it's the difference between a scarcity mindset and abundance mindset. Now, the abundance mindset believes that there's more than enough to go around. I always say, like with my clients, if you start a business, you're like, oh man, I don't know if I start this business, everybody's doing the podcast, or everybody selling hair, or everybody's selling food, but it's more than enough to go around. And I always use this example. This is this funny example to me. So walking down the aisle at Meijer, I'm like doing my grocery shopping. I go to get bread. So I'm going to get some bread, going to get a loaf of bread. It's like 54 different types of bread, brands, like companies. And I thought about that and it hit me. It's like, none of these companies are like, oh my God, I can't do bread because somebody else is doing bread. And this other company got wheat bread. And then this other company got whole wheat bread. And then this company got the rye bread. They're not saying that. They're making their bread. They're saying, this is my bread. Here you go. Are you going to buy it? Now, of course, in some cases, we look at stuff like that and we're like, okay, well, which one is cheaper? Which one is better? Which one I like more? But the whole point is you got 54 different types of bread in this bread aisle. None of these bread companies are saying, I'm about to shut down because nobody wants it. So again, abundance mindset, remember, there's more than enough to go around. We live in a world of abundance. We have so many resources, especially in America, that it bugs me sometimes because I just used to working big in the restaurant industry for 15 years. I used to see so much waste. I mean, so much waste. I'm like, oh my God, we waste so much food. I mean, people who don't take to-go containers of their leftovers, we just throwing it out. End of the night, all of the stuff that was prepped that can't be used the next day, throwing it out. And I'm like, oh my God, like it's people that actually need to eat that can't eat, and we're throwing away food. So there's definitely an abundance in the world that we have to tap into, again, the mindset. Are you going to have a mindset of scarcity, or are you going to have a mindset of abundance? It's your choice. Myth number 4, I'll never make enough money. This is probably my favorite right here, myth, because somebody was like, well, I had put on Facebook and Instagram one time, I posted, if you made $1, you can make $1 million more, right? And, people commenting, oh, yeah, amen, that's good. I like that. I'm going to repost it. And this one person went on there and was like, oh, man, how I wish. I'm like, okay, negative mindset. That's my first thought. But also, and with the average person, so we're going to just say the average person, if they make $50,000 a year, right? So they make $50,000 a year, and they're working at GM, for wherever they're working, and they work there for 20 years and then they retire. How much money has gone through their hands? $1 million, right? So because we ain't talking about somebody who, I got this big contract, or I got a recording deal, or whatever it might be. Excuse me. They made average of 50,000 a year. You know, they worked for 20 years for their job. $1 million went through their hands. Now, what did they do with that $1 million? Remember what I said earlier, your dollar, you can make it work for you. So you can invest it. You can put it into a 401k. You can put it into the stock market. You can buy real estate. You can purchase things that matter, purchase things that's going to have value, or you can just spend it on frivolous stuff. But it's not a matter of, okay, well, I can't be a millionaire, because in most people's lifetime, $1 million went through their hands. As far as working, I've been working since I was 13, technically. So I honestly, I'm just be honest, I'm afraid to go back and do the math, because I'm like, how many times have $1 million went through my hands with my jobs I've had, you know, and with the businesses I had, and it's like, what did I really do with it? I'm in a better place now, more mature, know it. Shout out to, you know, manifestation, but thinking back to those times of like, I used to just frivolously waste money, just like, okay, I'm just spend it just because I got it to spend. Like, okay, yeah, let's. I was the influencer when we went to the bar. You know, I'm buying everybody around the drinks. I'm buying whoever the birthday people are. Yeah, they on me all night. Bring me the tab. And I think about all of the nights and the weekends that I did that, and it's like, how much money did I really spend on that crap? And I could have been investing in it, but that's a whole nother story. So again, myth number 4, I'll never have enough money. Your skills, your talents, your expertise are all worth money. Sometimes we give it away for free, you know. It's you know, have that battle of the game supposed to be, you know, sold, not told. It's some things that you give out free of charge, but there's other things that, you know, that's a skill set for you that you do well. Hey, this is how much it's going to cost you. In order for this to be a reality, you have to believe it first. Again, going back to your mindset, what do you believe? Do you believe you can be a millionaire? Do you believe, like, the fact that, like, if somebody heard me just say that about making 50 grand a year and over 20 years, $1 million went through your hands, do you believe that, or are you still fighting it? Like, yeah, I started out $50,000 a year, but no, it's like, those are facts. That's black and white. If you do the math, $1 million went through your hands. It's a matter of what you did with it. So in order for this to be a reality, you have to change your mindset. You got to change your mindset. You may not know exactly how you're going to make the money, and that's okay. But just know that you have the ability. You have that greatness inside of you. And then I'm going to wrap it up with this last myth. Myth number 5. If we make more money, people won't like me. It's funny. I like Diddy. He does this thing called Fuck It Fridays. So he's like, hey, fuck it Friday. It's Friday. Fuck it. We living for the weekend, whatever. If you make more, myth number 5, like, if you make more money, people won't like you. You are going to have those people who may not like the fact that you're making more money, you're making more moves, you're doing more things. And a lot of times the reason why is because of their own insecurities about money, their own mindset about money. They're going back to, remember the point I made about scarcity mindset or abundance mindset. So they see you become a millionaire, a multimillionaire. Oh, man, you over there, you got all that money, you riding that dumb car, blah, 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 blah. Well, why are you mad at me for what I'm spending? What's the old saying is like, what I eat don't make you shit. Like, so why are you mad because I'm spending my money on whatever I'm spending my money on? So yeah, you will have those people that might not like you because, you know, okay, I'm making money. But we don't dislike people who make money. We dislike those who flaunt their wealth and are not doing that righteous thing of giving back as well. We have those who, you know, again, they're just those type of people. I know some personally that just like, oh yeah, I got this and I made this and I did this and I did that. And I'm like, what are you doing to give back? What? Well, you can give back? What are you talking about? You got a life insurance policy for your kids? Oh, well, man, I ain't talking about all that. Like, oh, okay. So again, if you use your money, or I'm sorry, if you use your increase of income to help others, people will actually like you more, believe it or not. And we got a couple more minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and go. Myth number 6. We'll go ahead and knock this out too. Myth number 6: I'm just fine without money. That is definitely a myth. Are you really living your absolute best life? Are you living the best version of yourself? Are you living fearlessly, generously, and joyful? Probably not if you're saying you're okay without money. Let's be honest. Money makes many things possible that aren't otherwise possible. Everything has money attached to it. Even things that are free. There's somebody's paying for it somewhere, some way. I always say nothing in life is free. We may see it, it may seem like that, but somebody's paying for it somewhere. It's so funny because I got a coupon just today before I came in here. It was for Meijer or CVS, and it's like free up to $10. And I'm like, what's the catch? And you look in the fine print. When you spend $75, you get $10 off. Like, okay, well, it's not free then. They're giving me a little discount, cool, but I have to spend $75 to get the $10 off. It's just always funny. Or even like buy one, get one free. It's like, no, I'm not really buying one, get one free because I'm paying full price for the first one. And then you go into not even getting it. We ain't going to go this deep today. But you go into what it costs to make that item. Me again, personally, I like hookah. I enjoy hookah. But I was talking to my man, the store I go to, and I'm like, how much it costs y'all to make that? Like let's break it down. I'm in business, you're in business. I'm like, I know how much it costs to make it. Now, me buying a cup, it's $12. If I buy 2, it's $10 each. We broke it down. It cost them about $2.12 to make this cup that I'm paying $12 for. So like they're making a $10 profit on every cup. And they're always busy. So again, the whole mindset behind it is like, okay, nothing in life is free, but then there's also profit margins that kind of is built in for the purpose of what you do. If you don't have money, you can't expand into your full potential. This is definitely true. And sometimes, again, it's not about the amount of money. So people say, okay, well, this is my potential. This is my thought. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. And I want to get to a millionaire status. Cool. And sometimes we kind of get caught up into this how much, where it's like, well, not necessarily how much. When I wanted to start this podcast, the CEO Lab podcast, I remember I'm going through the numbers. I'm like, oh man, I got to buy this equipment. I got to buy this mic. I got to do this. I need this software. I got to make sure my internet's fast. And I'm going through all this. And then it just clicked like, hey, call Miles. I'm like, oh, that's right. He was doing the radio show. He do the podcast. Okay. So now that whole cost has been cut less than in half of what I would have to spend doing it myself. So sometimes, again, going back to your network. So who's in your network? You can do a lot of stuff right now. I'm about to relaunch my personal brand website. I'm finding all of these different like deals, if you will. So like one is one of the websites I want to use, or I'm using, is Kajabi, right? So it's kind of like all in one platform. Well, they sent me an email and they're like, hey, $5 to start. I'm like, again, $5. Remember we talked about the $5 earlier. I invested in my website. They give me, for $5, they give me first 5 weeks free, or, start out. And then after that, I pay like the bigger amount. But again, there's resources out there. It's just a matter of how can you expand into your potential using money? Money does give you options. Remember that, like, if that's the big thing for me and my children, I want to be able to give them options. So kind of just, to clarify and kind of go back and just recap everything. Abundance mindset, millionaire mindset all starts with your abundance mindset. It all starts about how you think about money, how you think about the world. If you have a scarcity mindset, that's what it's going to be. If you speak negative into your life every day, that's what it's going to be. If you speak positive into your life, that's what it's going to be. I'm a firm believer in that. Now, you don't have to believe it. Some people be like, oh, yeah, Reg full of shit. Like, this whole podcast, listening to this, you're all about this, that, and the other. But I'm a living witness that it's happened. It's happened in my life. People around me, I see people around me that's constantly building, oh, I got this going on. I got this going on. I just purchased this property. On the way in today, is a cousin down in Florida. He's like, yeah, I just purchased a property in Florida and a property in Ohio, looking to do something with it. Well, he didn't start out as like, okay, I got this big bag that somebody left me. He started out as like, okay, let me start with this one property and let me build from there. So I'm going to end it on this note. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly. To take care of that you entertain, notions of unsuitable to virtual to a reasonable nature. So I always say, end the show, I always talk about how your mindset is the most important thing. Things manifest from your mindset. So watch your thoughts because they become things. I love to say that. I appreciate you all tuning in. Appreciate you listening the whole time. CEO Lab Podcast. Make sure you go to our website, subscribe, like, follow the CEO Lab Podcast.com. We'll be on YouTube, the CEO Lab on YouTube. And again, I always end it out by saying, you'll never change your life until you change your choices. This is your boy, Mr. Making It Happen Instead of Watching It Happen, Reginald Dockery. Holla.
I just flew it from another time zone. Intercontinental business, that's what I'm on. $1 million deal on my iPhone. Wow. So please excuse me if your mind is blown. Ounces of the white widow, that's what I smoke. So excuse me if my eyes close.